Thank you so much for taking the time for this interview. I understand that it must be a difficult time. I want to get your first words after the match.
I mean, it's really hard to think something logical at this point. I'm really angry, devastated, frustrated. I don't know still what happened. I feel like we didn't play still how we know. For sure we are changing a lot of things and we are learning a lot of new things at this Worlds because I don't think we can win Worlds how we're playing this year. So we need to add a lot of new concepts to our game. So for sure we are learning a lot these Worlds and we are not able still to put it into games in official because it's too fast to put it in official for sure. But yeah, it sucks that we end up so fast like losing because I feel like I didn't match my expectations and my goals for this Worlds. And I wanted to have way more practice on stage and way more practice in general here. And yeah, it ends today, so yeah, it sucks.
What were your expectations going into Worlds? Like remembering that this is the first time that you go on international stage of this level.
I wanted to play as many games as I can, of course. I didn't really have like expectations in terms of winning or going some specific place, but I wanted to play as I know, and I don't really think I match it. I think today I played better than I did a lot of games at Worlds, but I think was still not enough, and I think I can still do way better. So yeah, I just didn't match my expectations mostly individually, and as a team I think we underperformed a bit as well.
Do you feel this is something that has to do with your mentality going into the game or the mechanic side?
I think both for sure, but I would say way more mentally. I would say I don't think we're that far mechanically from the other teams. Of course, we need to improve a lot because the Asian teams and Chinese teams are way better mechanically than in Europe, and they play way faster the fights and the map. So there is a huge difference still. But I think the gap was mostly mentally and knowledge. I think.
Do you feel this is more related to the inexperience that your team mostly brought to the stage?
Probably yes. Again, it's hard now to think of it because it's like there's a lot of emotions going through my head right now. But probably yes, if I think of it now, since we are still four rookies at Worlds, we always wanted to play here. So I think at some point we get affected by it. And yeah, probably yeah.
Is there anything on the game, specifically on the draft and the unit picks and or not bans, that you would like to say?
I don't really focus into the draft too much. I think it's not as important as people say or think. I think it's really important when both teams are really good and you play like really far in the tournament, like I don't know, semi-finals, finals, and let's say both teams are really good, and draft matters, I think. But at this stage, I don't think it matters too much. I think you can get some advantages, but again, if you play how you know, and you play with confidence and what you train in the scrims, I think it doesn't really matter the draft if you're a better team.
Compared to the scrims and to the practice that you guys were doing before the main stage, do you feel your performance in the main stage there was a huge difference between the two?
You mean our team individually?
Yeah.
I think we underperformed a bit, but I don't think we played insane in planes. I think we won some games because individual gap. For example, into PSG, I think we won because Alvaro found an engage. I don't think we played insanely as a team. So yeah, I think we're lacking many things still. I think it was a really good experience. I just wish it would last longer because I think we have improved a lot of things here, even though we didn't show it in official. But again, we need to improve a lot if we want to win Worlds in the future. So it was a first step playing against Asian teams that I'm really grateful for because I could see many different things from them. And yeah.
I know that it's difficult to talk about it, but if you can, could you share a bit how was exiting the stage? Like, what was the team atmosphere, and maybe something did the coaches and the staff tell you something?
I'm not really sure, to be honest, because I was shocked and devastated. I didn't really look at anyone, to be honest, because usually when I lose and when we lose here, I usually feel pretty ashamed. So I just want to get out of the stage as far as possible because I'm not really proud of my performance in general. So yeah, I was just angry, devastated, sad, and yeah, I didn't notice what is happening around me, to be honest.
You said it before, you have a lot to improve as a team, but you also said that you perform better than your usual self on the stage today. What are the other things that you or your team needed to improve to, reach the next step?
I think we could have beat GAM or the other teams if we would play as we know from leg finals of this year, but we changed it again a lot of things and we started learning a lot of things because our goal is not to be 1-2 or 2-2 in Swiss stage, win one best of 3 and go for the next step. We're aiming to be able to beat the Asian teams, so we wouldn't be satisfied if we win GAM today and the next round we are not able to match, let's say, Weibo or any other LCK or LPL team. So we are looking more long term to improve as much as we can because again we could have played how we know like these days and probably beat GAM, but yeah, our goal is to match the Asian teams, not to win one game.
You said that you look to improve on the long term. Do your team have you already talked with the team about off season and possibly 2025 season?
Not really still. I think probably we'll have boot camp in December as usually we have. I don't know what's gonna happen now because we didn't expect again to lose today, so it's hard to tell what's our plans for off season. I don't know, to be honest, we will see.
One thing that I was curious about was asking about the relationship between the team, so that the roster and Ibai, because I know he was in the stage, so I was curious to ask, does he come down maybe to the team room and offer a few words of support either before or after the game?
Not really. We didn't see him, and usually he doesn't join, but I think it's also normal since we have our kind of space before the game with the staff and we are really focused on the game, so I don't really expect that. I know we get a lot of support from them anyways, so yeah.
One thing about after the game, there were a lot of fans in the arena, you might have heard them. Is there anything that you would like to say to them?
I would like to say sorry again because I think we underperformed. I want to say that I hope they will keep supporting and trusting us because even though we didn't show, we really improved a lot of things and we learned a lot from these worlds. I just wish it would be more things. But I see more clear now what I need to do in the future to be able to match the Asian teams. And I think it was really interesting experience and I think we take away a lot of lessons from it and I think if we're going to use it well in the next year, we're going to do way better than that. So yeah, I think in the end we're going to be a better team. It's going to make us stronger, and yeah, I'm looking forward for the future.
I understand that you are shocked and disappointed right now, but you also said you see more clearly what you need to improve on for the future. Can you share a bit of what are the things that you were thinking of?
Basically, it's details, I think, and looking more deep into the game. There's a lot of things that are really details that I'm not gonna go really into those details right now, but it's small things that Asian team do way better than we do in Europe. It's controlling the zones, it's playing way faster the map, it's contesting the right waves that they need. It's a lot of things, but it's really interesting because I think it's super big gap between them and us in Europe. So all the games that we were able to play in scrims or whatever was super useful to me because it's a way different game. And we kind of want to not either join their game but learn the best things that they have from their game, adapt to ours and then beat them. So it was really interesting experience for me.
One last question. What are the factors that you think contribute to this gap between the Western and Eastern teams?
For sure, again, it's small details, but I think they have better practice in general since they are a better region. I think they have way more stronger teams that understands the game way more than we do in Europe. And I think they study the game way more than we do in Europe. I think they have better understanding of the map in general and macro. So I think that's the bigger factors.
Thank you so much for your time, Fresskowy.